we would be more than happy to connect with you even after this webinar and have a discussion with you. And while we were doing this survey with our customers, we also came across a report by Cambridge University, which was mainly targeted with the IT and ITS companies around the world. Uh, and the survey, what the Cambridge University did is, what percentage of staff have the English skills needed to succeed in their role? And the outcome was, English problem is a global crisis. There are some key roles like sales and customer service, or any kind of a customer front ending role, where it's very important to have good English speaking. And over there also, almost 30% of their staff lacked the required skills to succeed in their role, English skills specifically. So is this problem solved today? That's what we tried to indulge into it. So we went and studied CFR, which is a common European framework for of references for languages. We studied Pearson Versant, which is one of the most successful English test in the world, almost administered to 350 million candidates worldwide till now. And we understood the structure. There were some shortcomings and the challenges. What we found out, the test is too lengthy, a couple of hours, a little bit complex, right? Lacks the new age technologies in it. So we thought, can we create a solution to address, one, the challenges faced by the customer, which is also a global crisis, and second, there is a solution in the market, but can we do something better? Can we make something innovative, right? And this was the basis of our origin and a structure which we came up with, called as AI Enabled English Pro. So we came up with an assessment which is artificial intelligence enabled, focused on checking a candidate's speaking, writing, reading, and listening skills. And it's fun. That's what we'll see, how it's fun, and it's quick. Only 30 minutes. So within 30 minutes, you can gauge candidates' speaking, writing, reading, and listening skills. To make it quick, that is 30 minutes, and to make it fun, we had to use a lot of, or we had to develop a lot of, we have to use a lot of AI and develop our own NLP models to do the analysis of the video questions, to do the analysis of the writing skills of a person, and understand their sentiments when they're speaking, when they're writing, their grammar, their vocabulary, their spelling, oral fluency, their email writing skills, and the face recognition. So a lot of AI and NLP models being used to make sure the things are accurate, to make sure the things are quick, and to make sure the evaluation is very innovative in nature. So in the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to explain you how is this test structure, and walk you through a real demo of how this works. And we can definitely have a good question and answer session at the end to really, if you have any questions, it can be a very basic question. Hey, what is AI? What is NLP, right? And how you're doing this? And I'll be more than happy to answer all of your questions. So the first task in the test is speaking, where we ask a candidate to provide an introduction to yourself, along with 3 achievements in the last 2 years. The candidate needs to speak for a minute in front of the camera. So we capture the human face, we capture his voice, and there is a particular task being given to him to just understand the context of what he's speaking. This is the task 1, which is the speaking section, followed by task 2, which is a formal letter writing. Write a letter to your reporting manager stating the reason behind the delay in the completion of a project. So he has to actually write a proper letter or an email to his reporting manager stating the reason behind the delay in the completion of the project. Expected is he should at least write 100, 150 words for our NLP model to really start working. Reading This is a simple section based on uh, the American English for GMAT or a GRE examination, where we have a closed test, a sentence correction, and reading comprehension. And all the content for every question, we try to make it specific to business English. So the paragraphs or the sentences are being picked up from the reports of Gartner and McKinsey. So this is a very specific business English assessment. This particular section, we expect candidates to really score very high, at least 70%, because apart from the first two sections, which are more on speaking and writing, this checks your basic English, which you have been practicing like from your school days or right from your undergrad days. So you should be really good in this. And listening. Again, we play an audio which is again based on an American English. So you listen to the audio, and based on that audio, we ask you some questions. So if you're not very attentive while listening to the audio, you may go wrong. So this is actually to understand, do you for how good as a listener you are, and do you understand American accent? So these are the four sections. Once the assessment is completed, within 5 to 10 minutes, system generates a report, which is something kind of this as an output. So here, if you see, there's a candidate called as Ryan Walker. He has scored 83% and completed the assessment in 70%, 77% of the allotted time. And there are four sections, and below are the enabling skills. Before going to the next part of the presentation, we'll quickly go and see the demo. How does the product work? Neha, are you able to see the screen with the browser now, with the browser window?
Yes, Sujit.
Perfect. So this is a candidate Harshad, and he has scored almost 83%. And these are the below skills. Now in speaking, he has scored 75 out of 100. Let's understand what was there in the speaking section. So I'm going to his questions. I'm going to the speaking section. And the question is, please look at the camera and speak into the microphone while giving an introduction of yourself. Provide an introduction to yourself along with 3 achievements in the last 2 years. You should ideally speak for a minute. The timer at the bottom of the screen would help you keep track of your progress. Start speaking at the end of the countdown. Best of luck. So let's see how this candidate has recorded his video.
Hi, my name is Harshad Manglani, and I'm a third year student at the Pune Institute of Computer Technology. I've maintained an average pointer of 9.4 out of 10. In April 2020, I was selected as a Microsoft Student Partner, which is a global campus ambassador program by Microsoft. As a part of this program, I've completed all the milestones that are in the program. I've also been fortunate enough to have access to all Microsoft technologies, which has enabled me to learn mostly about Microsoft Azure. I can deploy applications and databases using the cloud. I have some basic knowledge about how cloud computing works, and I've also.
So here the candidate was asked to speak for a minute. He has spoken about his achievements, about what he's doing, which undergrad, college, university goes to, his engagement with the Microsoft Global Student Program, and in that he has learned Azure. So he's talking a lot of good things, and on those parameters, the speaking model has rated him on his grammar, his oral fluency, sentiment analysis, and his vocabulary. And the score is 75% out of 100. And this is what we see over here. At the same time, let's go to the writing section. So in the writing section, the candidate is asked to write a letter to the reporting manager stating the reason behind the delay in completion of the project and he has written a letter since he is still going to the still appearing for like going through an education program. Definitely his writing skills are not top notch, so he's written a letter the way email way a undergrad student would write. Hello sir, hope you're doing well. This is a follow-up email to inform you about the delay in our project. Firstly, I would like to apologize for the delay. The problem occurred because I was wrongly assumed a few things, right? So his writing skills are not that great. And on the writing, that's the reason he has scored only 65%. And these are the enabling skills: grammar, letter length, sentiment analysis, spelling, and vocabulary. This was one candidate. And at the same time, just to do some comparison, I will show you one more candidate who has scored very high in writing, right? And let's see what is the writing score over here. So here in the writing, again, because this person is more experienced, write a letter to a reporting manager stating the reason behind the delay in the completion of a project. This person has written, hi Vishal, I hope you're staying safe and healthy. I would like to update you on the progress of the Universal Studio project so far. We have completed 12 of the 15 modules. We have got sign off from the customer for 10 modules. 2 modules are under UAT. 3 modules are work in progress. Team is working hard to complete the remaining 3 modules, but due to COVID-19 and work from home challenges, we see delay of 4 to 6 weeks in completing the project. There are internet issues, coordination issues. Hope you understand the challenges we are facing and communicate the same to the customer. Can we have a customer call and explain the challenges? Stay safe, stay healthy. So while maybe the letter length is not very big, but it's written very crisply and with a better English. So the overall score over here for the writing, that's why it's gone to 85%, right? So this is more around speaking and writing as a section. And then when we go to reading, this is interesting. This candidate has got 90%. This candidate has scored very less in writing, has scored only 13%. So what is reading all about? Now, when we go to reading, you will find very simple reading comprehension. Again, every paragraph, as I told you, is based on a lot of business material from Gartner and McKinsey. So this particular paragraph talks about gig economy. This paragraph talks about the digital business, right? This paragraph talks about information as an asset and early adoption, and something on Gartner prediction. So the candidate really needs to have a good understanding for answering this question. Then there is something on sentence correction to check how the person is creating a right structure of a sentence based on American English. And then there is a simple closet where there's a paragraph with a lot of blanks, and a candidate needs to just fill in those blanks, right? With the right keywords given at the bottom, right? So we expect candidate to score really high in this section to prove that their basic skills in English are really good. And the last section is listening. You're you have to listen to an audio. This particular audio clip is about the hype cycle. It's a 2 minutes 20 seconds audio. We'll listen to this audio now.
In this video, I want to talk to you about the Gartner hype cycle. This is a model that was developed by the Gartner Group to understand how technologies kind of come on the scene and then what happens to them as they eventually go through a pattern to become a mature technology. This model is usually depicted by having two axes, one where we have time along the x-axis and visibility or sometimes utility along the y-axis.
So now if you listen to this audio for 2 minutes carefully, and then you answer some questions. This is again something which happens in a kind of an IELTS exam where you listen to the audio clips. If you're not good with understanding an American accent, or if you're not good and you're not very attentive, then you may not score good in this section as well. So this is the fourth section, which is listening. And the overall report looks something like this. So this is the high level structure of our English proficiency test. Reading, listening, reading, speaking, writing, using a lot of AI to evaluate the speaking section, reading section with a lot of AI based NLP models, and then for speaking and writing, and then for reading, uh, something which is based on US American English, based on the GMAT and GRE examination, and listening, and audio clip where you have to be very attentive, and some questions on top of that. The entire content, as I said, is completely based on some transcripts or some passages from Gartner and McKinsey to give a touch of a business English, right? So this is the major focus of the AI English Pro. Any questions anybody has right now on whatever I showed as a demo or on the structure? Would be more than happy to answer it now before moving on to the next part of the presentation.
Yes, Sujit, there are three questions. So, first is Nishant is asking how accurate is the NLP model?
So currently our NLP model has a accuracy of almost 70 to 75%. And we are working on our NLP models, and within a couple of months, by the end of this quarter, we are expecting that accuracy would go to 85 to 90%. And in NLP, 85 to 90% is a very, very good accuracy, because at the end, you're saving a lot of human efforts to evaluate somebody's communication skills or somebody's writing skills. It's all automated, right? So a 10% drop in accuracy may be there, but you can compensate that with the amount of time you're saving for the evaluator or the reviewer.
All right. Sujit, second question. This is an interesting question Sam has asked. So, can the English Pro test be customized? Like, can anybody add their own scenario and time setups?
Uh, Interesting question. So I would answer this question in my presentation in next 5 minutes. Is that fine?
Yeah, I think that should be fine. Suchit, another question was for the listening model, the audio clip that you just played. So, is there a way to slow down the audio clip? Does the candidate have that option?
Candidate doesn't has an option to slow down the audio clip, but a candidate has an option to replay the audio clip. So he can replay the audio clip maybe for a couple of times, and that is in the settings. So you can have an option for a candidate to replay the audio clips maybe 2 times or 3 times if you want. And you can give him maybe a 5 minutes to answer all the questions after listening to that audio clip. So within that 5 minutes, he can maybe replay it for a couple of times.
Okay. And also, Adrian has asked how to access AI English Pro, how to access the test.
So for this moment, I would say it's very simple. Just drop an email to support@interviewmocha.com, and we would be happy to first understand your requirement and then immediately provide you the access.
All right. And another interesting question. This is like, what is the difficulty level of the questions asked?
So currently, this particular test, I would say, is with an intermediate difficulty level. So anybody who is more in a job scenario with an experience of anywhere between 1 year to 5 years experience can be really, this test can be administered and you'll get good results. We can even increase the difficulty level of this test on a higher side, or even reduce the difficulty level by producing a different content.
Okay. Sujit, we can move to the presentation.
Thank you, Nia. So some basic questions I just wanted in today's webinar to get answered. So whenever I've talked to a lot of people or a lot of customers, a basic question customers ask is, what is NLP, right? What is natural language processing? And this is the definition from Wikipedia. It's a subfield of linguistic, computer science, information engineering, and artificial intelligence, concerned with the interactions between computers and human natural languages, in a particular how to program computers to process and analyze large amounts of natural language data. I never understood this definition. And I guess that must be the same reaction the audience over here is having. So very complex. For me, I have a simple definition which I like about NLP and which I usually follow is this. Natural language processing on NLP is broadly defined as an automatic manipulation of natural language like speech and text by software. So it's automatic manipulation of natural language like speech and text. So in our speaking section, we have speech. In our writing section, we have a text, and we are doing an automatic manipulation of these two natural languages through our NLP models. And that's why we call this English Pro test as an AI based English Pro, AI enabled English Pro test where you're using a lot of NLP. I hope this definition, a simpler version of definition, would really help you in understanding what we are trying to do in our product and overall what is NLP. So this is the question what Sam had asked, and I usually get this question when I talk to the customers or when I give a demo. Can I change the questions? Can I change the structure of the test? Can you change the structure of the test? No. Can you change the questions in the test? Yes. Then how would you change the questions? So I've created a sample scenario, Sam, for you to understand how to change the questions. So I've taken a sample job role of a L1 tech support. Okay, and here the speaking section, you can ask a question. A sample scenario where customer is annoyed with the product. He calls L1 tech support and he says, hey, I'm really annoyed with the product. And now you need to speak, the candidate needs to speak for a minute to pacify the customer, right? And the way he speaks, the way he pacifies, we evaluate his communication skills, we evaluate his linguistic skills on that parameters. Similarly, write a response to a customer ticket stating the reason behind the delay in solving the issue customer is facing. Your customer is facing an issue and he's very annoyed, and already you have a sample ticket received from a customer. So if you have a sample ticket like that, just put that ticket over there in our test and ask the candidate, hey, you have got the sample ticket, how you're going to respond to it. Now, the way he responds to the sample ticket, you will get to know, is he good in this job? In the reading section, we can have random questions from a pool of hundreds of calibrated questions on sentence correction, different reading comprehensions, and the close test. And finally is a listening. This is interesting as well. You can have an audio recording of your customer calling you to your support center in the past. You can put that audio recording, which may be a couple of minutes or 5 minutes, and create answers on top of that and share with us, and we'll put that audio recording and those questions in the listening. So you can completely change the questions right from speaking, writing, reading, listening, make the assessment, make the English Pro test very much local to your job profile. Here the job role is L1 tech support. I hope Sam answered your question. Any other question, Neha, we have on the content or the question or the structure of the assessment?
Not right now, Sujit.
Okay. Since we are capturing the video of a candidate, it's very important that we follow the right security and the compliance around the world. So Interview Mocha, we are hosted on the Microsoft Azure platform uh, with a web application firewall of Cloudflare to make it highly secured. We follow all the required compliances of ISO 27001, GDPR, Privacy Shield framework, making sure that everything is secured and up to the highest compliance. At the same time, all the content which is provided, every question we make sure the content is as per the standards of the United States EEOC, that is Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. So there's no bias in the questions. The questions really don't hurt anyone's sentiments. we make sure of all those standard parameters around security and compliance. And this is more about the innovative and lovable interview mocha. We were awarded as the top 5 innovators in testing for the year 2019, and we continue with the same kind of innovations for the 2020 as well. So we want to be really ahead in terms of innovation, using the artificial intelligence and machine learning models, the NLP models, into each and every assessment within interview mocha, and giving this technology as a commodity in the hands of our customers. uh, Google featured Interview Mocha among the top recruiting tools for the year 2019, and we have been awarded as the best platform as a service solution hosted by Microsoft Azure. We also love a lot of our customers on the G2 Crowd and Capter. We have very good reviews with a very high rating. And we also love by employees because that is very important as well. A very high rating on Glassdoor as well. So that's it from my side for today. I hope you understood and you loved the way we are using artificial intelligence and NLP models to evaluate the English skills or English communication skills, which the world has been evaluating for last maybe 100 years, right? But this time we are trying to do it in a much innovative way and in a fun way, which the candidates are going to really love in a quick 30 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah. Suchit, there is one more question. So the question is, if the test report is shared to the candidate, is there a provision in the system where the candidates can challenge the reports?
So at this moment, no, the candidates, we don't have a provision for the candidates to challenge the report. All right. But if any candidate really feels that this is not what his communication skills are, we would be more than happy to have a provision where he can write an email to our support, and we will continuously get into it and try to understand what are the challenges which he thinks there's a difference, and more than happy to evaluate. Again, as I said, the NLP model comes with a 70% accuracy right now. So if that there is a difference, then that was because of that 30% of the NLP difference. While we are trying to reach that difference, there may be some challenges, but we would be more than happy to hear to a lot of candidates.
All right. And for the video question, so can the candidates attempt a retake?
Yeah, that's really a good question. So candidate can take up to 3 retakes, and every attempt he gives, he can go through his own recording on his own before he submits it. So and he can take 3 retakes, make sure that his video is perfect before submitting.
Okay, that is helpful. Okay, so Sam is asking that they're using Intermocha like since the past 2 years. So can somebody from our team onboard for AI English Pro, and also is this test already a part of the existing plan?
So, Sam, more than happy to onboard you. If you can just drop in your email ID in the chat in the question and answer window or in a private chat, and we'll definitely get back to you to help you onboard quickly. Is it a part of your current plan? I have really no idea. Maybe our customer success manager can help you with that.
All right. Sujit, another question is, what is the time limit for the test, and can the candidates choose the sections they want to attempt first?
There's no the time limit, as I said, it's 30 minutes. They and they cannot choose the sections they have to attempt. The flow is already decided. They have to follow the flow which the system is having.
All right. And I presume the answer is yes, but I'll still ask the question. Can the test be used for university hiring, and how many people can simultaneously attend the test?
Can the test be used for university hiring? Since the content is a little bit on a business side, a lot of paragraphs from Gartner and McKinsey, maybe the students which are at undergrad may find it a little bit difficult. Everybody's English is not up to the mark. So again, it depends where are you trying to do the university hiring, in which country. Are you trying to do it in United States? Are you trying to do in some non-English speaking nation in Europe? Or are you trying to do it in India, where English is spoken by the majority of the population, right? So it would really matter. We need to understand the geography where you're going to administer the test. Uh, and second thing, the second question, what was the second question here?
Second question, just yeah. Second question was how many people can simultaneously attempt the test?
So for every minute, they can be 2,000 candidates who can start the test together. So within a minute, 2,000, and every minute you can have another 2,000 candidates starting the test. So if you ask for a concurrency for a minute, it's almost 2,000 per minute. And if you ask for a concurrency for an hour, maybe because it's no more a concurrency, it's distributed, they can be almost around 60,000 candidates who can appear for this test. But within a minute you can have 2,000 starting at a single moment, within a single minute.
All right. Joshua has a question. So, in regards to providing your own questions, what does it look like from a recruiter perspective when adjusting questions or scenarios?
So it's not more from a recruiter perspective. We need to understand your job role. So if you can help us with your job role and what exactly you're trying to do, we can help you. Our team can help you to edit or tweak the question with respect to that job role. So it's not with the perspective of a recruiter, it's more from a perspective of a job role. If your job role is pretty standard, you can use a standard questions. But if your job role with respect to a particular tech support and you want to upload your own audios, you want to upload your own scenarios, then we need to discuss with your hiring managers and have a call with them, understand how they have been hiring in the past, and then we can really take some content from your existing past data and help you create a customized test.
Okay, Sujit, another interesting question. So, how is AI English Pro different from Pearson Versant?
So one thing is, I won't comment how it's different. I would only comment how this is. I would say our AI English Pro test is more focused on, as I told, using a lot of technology, using artificial intelligence and NLP models to make it first innovative. So that may be the first big difference. And second thing is with Interview Mocha AI English Pro, you can change the content, right? You can make the content with respect to a particular job role, and the structure is more important for us, and the technology we are using is more important. The content we are saying can be customized as per the requirement of the customer. I would say with Pearson, I've really no idea how easy it is to customize the test. But with Interview Mocha, you have that flexibility to customize the content. While the framework and the technology remains very innovative, with your own content, you can create your own high performing test, which your candidates would love to solve, because that's more related to the job and just not something English. But with this English, which is required for that job with the exact scenarios.
All right. And another question is how can the recruiters or the hiring managers make sure that the candidates are not cheating?
Simple thing, you definitely they cannot cheat in the speaking section, because in the speaking section the candidate's video itself is visible, right? So that is one. And for the remaining part, remaining other sections, we have something called as an image proctoring, and you will get all the proctoring details, and throughout the test we make sure that we captured the images of the candidate, right? So for this particular thing, maybe the image proctoring is not enabled, but wherever the image proctoring is enabled, all the images are captured over here, and you can have the look at the proctored data. And even in the summary, you will get to know if they moved out of the test window, which we call as a window violation. If they moved out of the time, how much time were they outside for every question, that is a time violation. How many images were captured and how many images were violated. And we also have amazing flags to tell you whether whether he really moved out of the test window, with somebody help him, but was it within a tolerable limit. So we have a fantastic proctoring algorithms written to avoid cheating and making sure that the tests are taken in the most ideal scenarios without any cheating.
Right. So that was all. I think we took all the questions. So thank you, Sujit. Thank you for wonderful presentation, and thank you to all the attendees. It was a pleasure having you all here.
Thank you, Nia. Thank you, everyone, for attending the webinar. Have a great day ahead. And if you're other part of the world, have a great evening as well. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.